Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long Boys Blues, 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug. Long Boys Blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Long Boys Post 1975. Welcome to the Wednesday vlog. I've really got to stop doing these vlogs after I've just had breakfast. I don't learn, do I? I absolutely don't learn. My mouth's watering and I've got a gacky throat. But it was good food. I had baked basa and rosemary and chorizo fish fillets with home oven baked chips, and it was absolutely freaking lovely. Breakfast of champions. As you can tell, I've just got back from work. Seriously, mouth, sort yourself out. Anyway, back on the Diet Coke. Well, I've been on the Pepsi Max for a little bit too long now, so I'm switching it back to the Diet Coke for a bit. And also, it's on offer, 2 for £2. Anyway, been a little bit heavy for a couple of Wednesday vlogs, so I thought I'd get back to something a little bit more light-hearted. There's a new guy at work, and it's so awesome because he works next to me. That have someone who loves retro games in my company again, so you can talk. And lots of people just look at us and go, "What the fuck is up with these two children?" You know, is their whole life obsessed with nostalgia? Shouldn't they look forward? Nah, I'll look where I want to look. You do what you want, and I'll enjoy reminiscing about great times in video gaming. And we were talking about those epic, well, it stemmed from a conversation which was, we were talking about, social gaming now, while it still exists, is so far removed. This is not the Wednesday vlog, but this is just like setting up, the conversation and the topic, which you've already read. Yeah, so far removed from what it was, after school gaming and stuff like that, summer holiday gaming, all your mates crammed into one room playing Winner Stays On and stuff like that. Yes, it's still competitive. Yes, there is still multiplayer, but online to me is a cold, troll-ridden, insult-filled space. Put someone behind a keyboard and a monitor and they don't have to show their face, then everyone becomes a fucking, I don't know, insulting twat. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Sure, there are some people who probably still play games, around their mate's house, but I think it's simply just nowhere, on par with where it was in, my heyday, the late 80s and to mid 90s, which I guess you could argue to some degree is because the internet then was, well, just not an everyday, everyman sort of thing. Excuse me, aspartame. So unprofessional, I know. But we were talking about, because you were fiercely competitive with your mates, but it wasn't like, all this online insulting and crap like that. It was your mates. You had to get, one over your friends. And there was that kind of pecking order when you played video games, like the Winner Stays On whole thing like that, and you used to wind your mates up. But it was fun trash talk. And like I said, it's not this, anger, hate-filled crap we get online these days, which is the only why I don't really play games online. Seriously, next week, Dave, remember, don't have breakfast until afterwards. But yeah, it was a really, really big thing, like I said, after school gaming, some holiday gaming, and to some degree, a little bit further on when I was an adult, and these are the PlayStation 1 days, and that's the game, maybe 2 games I want to talk about. But it was always about, you had to do one more, one better than your friend. And it wasn't even necessarily, one-on-one fighting games or one-on-one driving games like that, or out-laughing. It was just getting further in a game or beating, and this is what I mean by holy grail of this situation, which if you've, what's your greatest gaming memory of, beating your friends, your greatest gaming moment where you beat your friends, or your greatest gaming moment where you managed to do something that no one else could. Like I said, it was all about getting one over, getting as far and doing something that no one else could do, and then possibly setting a record that no one else could beat. And again, it was in all types of games, because the game I want to talk about where this thing was unbelievable was Resident Evil 3. Yes, I'm not a fan of 1. 2 is my second favourite game of all time, which if you watch my 10 favourite PlayStation games. 3, while good, solid, better than 1, better than everything that followed, to be perfectly honest, but a departure from 2. But it had that amazing Mercenaries mode. I'm sure there's a version, I can't remember off the top of my head whether they reintroduced this into Resident Evil games later on. Or isn't there one on the 3DS. I should look into it, but it was an absolutely brilliant mode. But the mercenaries were 3 different individuals with, and it was a side game. I'm sure everyone knows this and has played it. And you had a very limited linear route to go. But you had very, very, restrictive amounts of ammunition, and you had a very limited amount of time. You could do like weird combo pattern movements things, so you could dodge zombies. You didn't have to necessarily kill them, which you would need to do with some of these characters. And it would put your time back up, as would shooting them. I think it's been ages since I played this. And once we beat the main game and we went on this, me and my mates became absolutely obsessed with it. We would go around another friend's house when we all lived in the same vicinity downtown. And this is before Gran Turismo Tuesdays. Tuesdays just seemed to be that night where everyone was off, and we'd all go around and we just cane, games. And this is before the PlayStation 2 was out. And so we all became obsessed with beating this. We all could beat it with the first guy. What's his name? I can't remember. Was it Carlos? The first time you played it was a little bit tricky, and obviously there was some commitment to memory of the route and what you had to do. But, once you got used to it, you could dodge people and stuff like that, and you could get through it pretty easily. And he had a reasonable amount or abundance of ammunition. You had to go through this route, get to the end, and then deactivate a bomb in a case. And when I say deactivate, just go up to it. And then there was what was the second bloke? I forget the second bloke's name, but he had different guns, and he had even more limited amounts of alcohol, ammunition, and he was a little bit fickle, but eventually me and my mates, I caned him first, got through that one. But then there was the final bloke, the absolute fucking, this was ridiculous. I'm not saying I'm brilliant at games, so when I say this is bragging rights from me and my mates for ages, maybe you will sail through it, I don't know. Didn't he have a knife and 5 handgun bullets? And we all caned it and caned it and caned it. It went on for weeks, and we could not beat this guy, and we became obsessed with it. There was about 4 of us, and I just remember one day I just thought I was about to rage quit, and then it came around to my turn again, and I just went, fuck it, give it to me. And I don't know how I did it. I was concentrating. My heart was going, my hands were shaking, I was sweating. The 5 bullets were basically aim for any barrels that had explosives, and don't even bother wasting your time with knives, and just run. You get munched on, you just got absolutely hammered. And I just remember all my mates were sitting there even though they want you, we always want to be the person who was better than them. They all just sat there like this, just like, come on. The atmosphere was absolutely fantastic, really, really, and it drove you on. It really drove you on. It was just like one of those moments where everyone starts leaning forward like that, and I'm the fucking guy playing the game with the pounding heart and the sweaty palms and fucking forehead, and really getting the adrenaline up. And I just remember I was fucked, and the time was going down and down and down and down and down, and I just got in the room, I can't even think of the word, I'm reminiscing about it so much. All banged up and shit, limping, and the time was going down, I just thought, fuck it, and everything went to Matrix time, slow-mo. It was laugh if you want, this is how important these things were to us, and I got it. I think I got it with literally 1 second to spare, and everyone went fucking batshit crazy. It was oh my god, Dave, oh my god. But for me, I just sat there like this, in complete, bewilderment of what just happened, because I was so concentrating, and they were like, oh my god, Dave, amazing. And I have absolutely no foggy how I did that, and I was a fucking wreck, and it was brilliant, and everyone was going batshit crazy, and I just remember it was a moment that lasted for ages, because it really, invigorated them to try this bit again, and none of them, like I said, I'm not saying I'm an amazing gamer or anything, but back then I got bragging rights for this. This was one of the greatest moments I had. It was my moment in front of my mates, pulling off something that none of them ever achieved, up to that point and after that point. And I never actually did it again. It was brilliant, because they were also no, we got to do it. And then it got to the point where they were getting frustrated and stuff, but they still gave me respect for this, because it was just, as much as you heckle your friends, and even though back then, as much as you heckle them and you wanted to beat them at certain stuff, and there was that competitive level, it was all, good natured, it was all in goodwill. But it was just brilliant, because even now when I meet somebody's up, the conversation always comes down to one point where someone will always mention, hey Dave, do you remember that night where you beat mercenaries with the bloke with fuck all? And it's just one of those moments. It's etched in all our memories. I know it's not an important moment outside, or a life-changing moment outside of gaming, but in terms of a friendship moment, it's a very, very important memory that gives me and those friends, when we still see each other, a lot of nostalgia. To have that moment, which goes down in your memory as one of your greatest gaming moments ever, simply because you did something you never thought you could do in front of all your mates and they couldn't do it. You know, so yeah, I'd love to know what, because I'm sure everyone has this moment, or everyone has this memory, or everyone has that one game where they had that brilliant moment where they did something that, you know, they never thought they could do, and maybe they never did again. That just you know, made them at that point, at that specific moment, with their friends, an absolute bloody legend. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to know yours, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.